With the tire wear and cooler weather, how did practice feel compared to last year?
It was the same as last year. We had some cords last year and same amount of laps, but it's won't be a story tomorrow. Obviously with warmer temps.
With Eric getting hurt, seeing drivers break their backs in truck races and stuff, do you look at his injury and say, okay, racing is dangerous, or is there anything more? Is there any additional angst considering the history of this car?
I'm coming off 2 wrecks myself in a row. I need to go a couple weeks without hitting something for sure. So it's hard. All the wrecks are quite a bit harder, and I know that we've softened up the car in some certain places, but still it's it gets your attention when you hit something.
So are you going to be interested in seeing what the data, he said that it was much like Blaney's wreck last summer, but of course he gets a little worse of an injury, so will you be interested to see what they look at when they compare the two? Or?
Yeah, I think a lot of it's going to depend on seat position as well. Just usually with a compression fracture like that, there was some stuff when I did mine where the car kind of was on an angle. The way my seat was just really forced my body down. If he's more in a laid back position, it certainly could put some more load on your spine in those types of wrecks. So, and he was going up the hill as well, so that probably played a pretty big factor as well. So I'm sure they'll look at all of it and see what they can do to improve the safety.
When you were able to get back in the car from yours, obviously there's different back injuries, but how long does it take you to really feel like you're back to your normal self? Like, is he going to go months even after he gets back in not feeling amazing?
I felt fine as far as within 2 to 3 weeks. I felt okay when it came to everyday life. In the car, I just lost some feel for 6 months or so, and then got it back during the off season when I had some time to rest. So I think it's different for everyone, and certainly I don't know the extent of where his injury is or how bad it is, but certainly it sounds familiar.
Have you had much interaction with Corey Heim? Mm-hmm. And what do you think? What would you tell him about what he should focus on for tomorrow? Yeah,
I've been trying to help Corey as much as I can here over the last week, and obviously I had some interactions with him throughout the year. So, just try to give him some insight on what he should look for with his car. I thought he did a really good job that first round of practice. He was obviously very concerned never being in a next-gen car before in real life. So I think he did a good job, and he'll continue to get better through the race. But I tried to lend a helping hand to him and give him any insight that I could.
Have you gotten any data on how much publicity there was after last week with Jordan, and either impressions or media total?
Yeah, we measure all that stuff, and NASCAR measures it as well. So certainly it was a week where it was very good for the sport, very good for the team. So we do keep all those metrics, and we let our sponsors know.
So banking off of that, with Michael Jordan being there at Talladega, regardless of the amount of impressions, would you still how does it help your team in terms of confidence and just camaraderie and the momentum that it can bring?
Yeah, I think you nailed it all. All those things is what really is the game changer for us. When the gas man or whoever is able to celebrate and hug with Michael Jordan on the front stretch there, it all matters, right, for team camaraderie and whatnot. So he obviously has a big following. When media outlets outside of NASCAR pick it up, it's obviously good for us. So it just shows how important he is to this sport.
And for you personally, what did it do? Because obviously you've been trying to build up 2311 for a long time.
Yeah, I was torn because I just had a bad day myself. So I had to flip a switch as good as I can for that next hour or so after the race. And then I sleep on it, then I start feeling better the next day about the win for the 45. But I'm such a competitor, it's hard for me to kind of turn off that I had a crummy day myself while I'm still racing.
Yeah. And awesome, last thing, so for Dover, obviously this week, what do you think with the temperature change being 20 degrees warmer tomorrow? Would you anticipate a 2-tire strategy to get track position, or how do you think tomorrow's going to go?
I think there'll be all kinds of strategies in play for sure. Being that the tire wear, I think, will be significantly less. So those in the back certainly could try something if there is a caution pretty early. But you just never know. It really depends on how fast you think your car is, and whether it needs clean air to be fast or not.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Good luck.
I thought it was going to be, another Hendrick Gibbs type thing, but I mean, Larson's 21st, 22nd.
Chase is 29.
Chase 29th. So, I mean, can those guys come through the field, even though it's a tough place to pass?
Yeah, I mean, over the course of, are they going to do it in the first stage? Probably not, but, their pit crews are good enough, their drivers are good enough that they're going to make their way through the field. There's enough laps here to get it done. It just sets you back for the first quarter of the race, unless there's a caution that they can flip the stage like we were just talking about. So there's going to be opportunities for sure, and really they'll make some adaptations to their car overnight that's probably going to be quite a bit better.
We're gonna have
What do you take from today? Is there much at all?
Days like today are really hard because the track is just so fast, and you're driving it nothing like you would be tomorrow for sure. So being able to focus and trying to understand that today is today and tomorrow is tomorrow is very, very difficult. The grip level will be dramatically different. So I think it's the drivers and the teams that make the adjustments that are going to be the ones to shine tomorrow. I don't necessarily think that qualifying really shows who the fast cars are.
Are you still calling your shot for tomorrow?
Well, it's a good start to the weekend. I'm just at the point of my career, it seems, where every week I feel like we can win. So we're one of those guys that as long as we don't beat ourselves, we're in contention. So this is obviously a good start to that. Dover's been a really good track to me over the last 3-4 years, especially next gen. So I feel confident as I did on Monday of last week.
Going off of that, your numbers here, excuse me, ever since joining up with Gabe Hart have been a lot better than before. What changed over those last couple of years?
Yeah, just an approach difference, studying some of the best drivers here and what they do, trying to adapt my style to that. I definitely think that this track typically doesn't reward my general style of driving, so I have to change the way I drive to get speed out of it. When you look at Jimmy Johnson and all the wins that he's got here, I don't know. I rode on board with him for probably 1,000 laps virtually, and so I just studied that and got better. And Chris, kind of helped me get better at this track.
With the report, with the report that Kroger's 2025 plans may be up in the air, can you speak to the role that Tad Detector's had in the JGR organization since 2022?
I'm not really sure. I know that he's helped with sponsorship at JGR over the last few years, but I'm honestly not too sure and able to comment on what exactly he's done and what that future role is.
Okay, and we're going to have the alternate tires for North Wilkesboro. Is that something you're excited to see and try out yourself?
I am. I hope that the alternate tires got a big enough gap in speed. That's going to be the biggest difference. And it looks like, if I'm right, don't we have to start on that rain compound? So that'll be fun, because I don't think it's going to last very long. So I think starting the race on that compound is going to be fun. I think, from what I saw on the lap time differences when they tested it, it was a little faster at the beginning, but obviously it wore all the way out. So I don't know how much we're going to run that tire. I think we're probably going to run the normal tire unless we're forced to. So it's something that's going to be interesting. Your car's going to need something totally different to run fast on that rain tire versus the rain compound versus the control tire.
All right, thank you.
So do you think everybody's you think there'll be varying strategies, or do you think everybody will come down to the same combination during that race?
I think it really depends on how long that wet weather compound lasts. In the test, it lasted a very short amount of time. And will that increase with warmer conditions, slower lap times, and more rubber on the track is going to be the key to seeing how long we can actually run on it. But I think without a doubt we will eventually wear it out. It's just a matter of who wears it out first.
This is Parker Chase. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and check out some of our other videos over here on the right. And be sure to visit frontstretch.com for more racing content.